Good morning, everyone. My name is Alex Rouse. Like you said, I'm a GIS project coordinator with Stewart and really excited to be here today. This is my first time attending NCAUG in person. Done a lot of the virtual events, so it's really great to see everyone face to face and meet all of you for the first time. So thank you for having me. Thanks for braving the early morning session. I'm not a morning person, so I totally get it, and we'll get through this together. So today I'm here to talk about integrating webhooks into your GIS workflows. I'm going to go through what a webhook is and how they work. If you're not familiar with them, don't worry, we'll go through all that. And we'll also talk about the program that we use to make the webhooks, as well as some examples that we are currently using today with our GIS workflows.
Hey, Jeremy, can we get try control again? There we go. Let me see.
All right. So first, if you've never heard of Stewart, we are a multidisciplinary firm and we specialize in engineering, planning, design, and geomatics. We have 8 office locations throughout the Carolinas, and myself and my coworker Parks, who are here attending this conference, we're both in one of our Raleigh offices, specifically our southeast one towards Garner. And we have 7 practice areas. It's a little bit cut off, but they're right here. And we are in our geomatics practice. So now we can get into the webhooks. So by definition, webhooks are an HTTP request triggered by an event in a source system to a destination system, often bringing with it a payload of data. And what they're commonly used for is automation, notifications, communication, such as emails and text messages, actions, creating illustrations, and a whole lot more. And the online program that we use to create our webhooks is called Make, M-A-K-E. It is formerly known as Integromat, so if you've ever heard of that, it is now called Make.com. And it is compatible with thousands of apps that are ready to use, and it's very user-friendly, so that's why we chose to use Make.com. And really simply put, how a webhook works, it's going to watch for an event, which is called a trigger, and then it's going to perform a specified request that you set up, and it's going to produce an output. And Make.com is compatible with a few GIS apps already, including Survey123, Quick Capture, dashboards, and field maps. And it's also compatible with all of your Google and Microsoft applications, as well as social media apps like Facebook and Twitter, a lot of survey applications. And if you can see, it's a little bit cut off in the bottom right-hand corner, but it is also compatible with ChatGPT. I know AI is a really big topic nowadays, and I haven't had the chance to play around with that yet, but very cool. You can incorporate webhooks into AI as well. So now we're going to get into some of our real world examples. Our first one is our GIS request dashboard. So to give you a little bit of background, like I said in the beginning, we are a multidisciplinary firm and we have 7 different practice areas, including like landscape architecture, civil engineering, geomatics, which includes land surveying. So our GIS team has really done a lot of work trying to convince the entire company that GIS is the best thing ever, and we want to incorporate it into all of your workflows, make your products look great for your clients. And so we've done such a good job with that they've all caught the GIS bug, and we were just getting inundated with requests after requests, like Teams messages and emails and phone calls. Can you help me set up a web map? Can you help me make a Survey123? Can you make a dashboard for me? So it was definitely a little bit overwhelming on top of all of the work that we already had to do within our group. So I created an internal GIS request dashboard for all of our employees to formally submit their requests. And I did that using ArcGIS dashboards as well as the Survey123 form you can see on the left-hand side. And this is where our employees will fill out their name, their contact, a description of their request. They can also attach files like JPEGs, PDFs, documents, KMZ files even, to help tell that narrative of what they're looking for from us. And then that table on the right-hand side of the dashboard will get updated every time a new request has been submitted. But we, as our GIS team, wanted to get notified every time a new request had been submitted, right? So this is where the webhooks portion of it comes in. And so this is what a scenario on make looks like. This is a very simple scenario. So our trigger is going to be that survey 123 form being submitted. And then the output is going to be an Outlook email to the GIS team as well as the project contact. If we take a little bit of a closer look into that output, this is what we can set all of our requirements to be once an email gets sent out. So you can set what the subject line is, what the body content will look like. And if you see all of these little green rectangles with the text in them, those are the fields that are directly from survey 123. And so they will be automatically populated within the email with whatever the contact fills out in the form. Another really cool thing is that we found out how to include an image as a header in our email. If you see that little line of code, that's HTML code, and it's really simple. You can just Google like a free online HTML code editor, and it's really simple. Talk after if you want to like go more in depth, but just Google it and it will produce an HTML code for you with any image, and you can include it in your body of your email. And you can also set your to recipients. So we want all of our GIS team to be notified as well as the project contact. And then you can see again, those green boxes there, that's going to automatically populate with the contact name and their email address. And then this is what our output looks like. So you can see at the top, that's our GIS team as well as the contact getting notified via email. And there is our image header that our amazing marketing team put together for us. So now we use that internally for all of our GIS needs. And all of that text in the body has been populated automatically from what was inputted into the form. And we always like to include a link to the dashboard at the end of every email so the contact can go right over there and see what the progress is. And so we have that webhook set up, but we also have another one for our dashboard set up every time we change the status. So when someone submits a form, the status is automatically not started, but all of our GIS team can change the status within Survey 123 online to say either in progress, QA/QC, awaiting feedback, or closed once it's complete. And every time that we change the status, the contact is automatically updated via email that your status has been updated on your request. So they're constantly kept in the loop on how we're doing with it. And on to our next example. So definitely need a little bit of context for this one. So we have a subsurface utility engineering team, and they dig a lot of test holes to locate underground utilities. And to collect all of their data, they use Survey 123 forms. So they fill out the type of utility, the size, the color, pictures, description, all of that. And how they used to go about it through the office end was once the project was done, they had all of their Survey 123 forms. They generated PDF reports for every single test hole. So it had all their data and their photos on them. But then their end product was a spreadsheet. And so someone in the office was manually taking each one of those PDF reports and inputting line by line by line all of the test hole data. So it seems like not very efficient, right? There has to be a better way. We want to go right from Survey 123 to a spreadsheet format. And I know what some of you Survey 123 users are probably thinking, that you can export your data right to a CSV, right? Right from online. Well, I wish that was that easy. And we did try that, but this is what it looks like when it gets outputted from Survey 123. It has a lot of unnecessary fields. As you can see, there's tons of fields that don't have anything in them. There's a lot of underscores. There's a lot of lowercase, just a lot of work that has to be cleaned up anyways. So it doesn't really make it any more efficient for the office team. They're still going to have to do a lot of work on their end. So this is where we wanted to incorporate webhooks to try to speed up that process for them. We'll give it a second. Don't want to give away the farm. we'll stay there. But this is our make scenario for this process. So you can see it's a little bit more complicated than the last one. But again, that survey 123 is our trigger. So it's watching for every time a survey 123 form is submitted by the crews. But this time it's going to look in a spreadsheet that we hosted on OneDrive. And if the test hole ID is unique or new, then it's going to create a new record in our Excel table. And if it already exists, we want it to update the existing record. So we're trying to eliminate any duplicates by saying that if it already exists, then we just want to update the existing data in that table. So here's the new way. We're going to get rid of those PDF reports, cut out the middleman, and we're going to use webhooks to trigger that data to automatically be entered into that spreadsheet. And here's a closer look of what it looks like. You can see we only have the necessary form or fields in there. There's not a lot of underscores. It looks very neat, clean, and really all the office staff has left to do is just to QC everything, make sure everything looks good. But this is definitely something that we would pass along to a client. And finally, I'm going to wrap it up with the pros and cons that we have found by using Make. The first one being it's free with a little bit of fine print in there, and we can go over the fine print when I get to the cons section. But right now we are utilizing the free version and it's working great for us. It's very user friendly. You can have unlimited users in your organization contributing to the same scenarios. You do not need enterprise. So our company right now does not utilize enterprise and we have had no problems. If you have any custom applications, you can incorporate them in Make and create webhooks using your own apps that you've made. It's really cool. And then bottom line, automation means less manual labor and that's increased efficiency. And I think that's what we're all looking for, right? So over to the cons. Here's where that fine print is for that free version. So you can only have 2 active scenarios at one time with the free version. So like my 2 examples, we could only have those 2 running at one time. We could have a ton of different scenarios, but if we wanted to run a different option, we would have to turn off one of the other 2 options. So we can only have 2 actively going at one time. So that is a con, but it is working for us at the moment. But as we transition to hopefully utilizing more webhooks, we will be looking into hopefully different options, and their pricing packages are very affordable, starting at $9 a month, and that gives you unlimited scenarios. So right there, that's a huge benefit. So we'll definitely be looking to that as we try to incorporate more automation into our workflows. And then the other con is that right now it's not compatible with all GIS apps yet. You can request apps to be incorporated into Make through their website. So hopefully sometime soon we'll be seeing all of our favorite GIS apps on there and we can start playing around with some webhooks with them. And with that, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for your time and I'll take any questions.
Hi. So with your webhooks for creating the Excel, are you specifying like the cleanup in that webhook, or is it just using like specific labels that you have done in Survey 123?
Right. It's using specific labels in Survey 123. There is a little bit of cleanup that you have to do, like saying it says this on the back end in Survey 123, but we want the output to say this. So like without the underscores or, you know, all capitalized. So there is a little bit of cleanup that you can do. Honestly, we could have cut out that clean out by starting out better with ArcGIS Online. We use a template now and it has all of those underscores and the lower cases. So I think if you start it that way, you wouldn't have as much of an issue with the cleanup later on.
Okay, thank you.
So are you also familiar with Power Automate?
I am, yes.
And do you have a feeling for the difference between the 2 products and why you would choose Make versus the other one?
I have not personally used Power Automate. I have watched a lot of videos on it, and this was just a personal preference, just really based off cost. We wanted to try a free version. We don't have Power Automate on our machines. I believe the lowest package starts at like $15 a month, if I'm not mistaken, for Power Automate. So we just wanted to test it out with the free version. But like I said, as we explore more avenues that we're going to use webhooks, we might look into Power Automate. But from what I've seen, it's very similar workflows for both Make and Power Automate.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question.
Yeah.
For the OneDrive, is it a organizational OneDrive?
Yes. So we internally, we like to use OneDrive. We also have a network that we have all of our documents and everything on that we can share. But what we like about OneDrive, especially with the spreadsheets, is that multiple people can open them at one time. You know, if it's just hosted on the network, only one person can really be in it and the other people are in like a read-only copy. So that's what we like about OneDrive, is that everyone can be looking at it at one time that needs to look at it, can make edits, and they'll automatically be done in that at the same time. So